Hi everybody, this is Alex from CG Training Group. Today I'm going to be talking about a 357 Magnum from Smith & Wesson. This one is a Model 65. This model was manufactured between 1972 and 2004. Based on the serial numbers on this one, which you can see down here, it looks like it was manufactured in 1981. So just before we start the video, let's go here. I'm going to depress the cylinder release latch, this right here. And we're going to show that the firearm is empty. Okay, so the firearm is clear. So this one actually is has a 4-inch barrel. And as you can see there, you can see the Smith & Wesson stamped on the barrel. You see the front post with the it's got a few notches on the sight there, and this is like a kind of like a solid plastic, orange plastic, I'm sorry. As you see the barrel itself, it's like a continuation of the rear sight, which is this channel right here, right? So I'm going to close this up for a minute, and you can see what that kind of looks like when we're actually trying to get a good sight alignment there, right? If we go on this side, we'll be able to see it's stamped right there, Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum, right? And then you have here where it was made, right? And then you have the Smith & Wesson stamp there. It's a pretty heavy gun. There was no ammo, so I'm going to show. That's what the hammer looks like. What I like about this model is that tip right there is replaceable. All you got to do is take that pin out, get a new one, and then you put it back in, and it's ready to go again. Okay. So this one is double action, and you can also shoot it on single action. Now on double action, the trigger pull is between 12 and 11. It's quite heavy, and it has quite a bit of recoil if you're using the 357 Magnum rounds. If you're using the 38 special rounds, it's okay. However, on single action, it is incredibly smooth, and it's a great shot. This one on single action is 5 pounds, the trigger pull. Talking to a friend of mine, he had mentioned he has the exact same one. He bought it brand new, and I think it was in 1972 that he bought it. It was actually his first firearm. What he was telling me is that he found information that was saying that one of the reasons the police got rid of this firearm in particular was because every time, after years of shooting the 357 Magnum rounds, the metal would start to crack. So what some people are saying out there basically is that they recommend using the 38 special rounds to shoot, and if you're going to use 357, not to use it all the time, just every now and then, just to make sure that it doesn't crack. And they don't make this firearm anymore, so you pretty much have somewhat of a collector item, right? The other thing about this firearm is that it was actually manufactured at the request of the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. So they were looking for a revolver that could carry 6 rounds, something that was in stainless steel because they were out a lot, and it was double action. So that's kind of the history of where this came about. It was also used by the military police, also by the FBI, and that's pretty much the history of this firearm. I have to say, I love going out to the range and shooting with it, and it's a really, really, really nice firearm to shoot. Quite heavy, but it's not something I would carry for conceal. Potentially, you could have it for self-defense in the home. It's a pretty big round, so I guess you would scare somebody out with that one, and pretty noisy. So this is what it looks like when we fill these up, right? On this one, everything seems to operate very smoothly. I have never had any issues. I've had this one for about 3 years. So that's what that would look like. If I use the ejector rod, you can see how everything comes out. We dump those here on the mat. And then the police used to carry these on their belts. So these are speed loaders, and as you can see, what you do with these is that you line it up right here. You're gonna line it up right here with the gun, right? And then you're gonna press down on it and twist it, and then you come back out, and they're all supposed to be in the firearm, and then you load it, and you're ready to go, right? So these speed loaders are pretty effective, I would have to say. I have a friend of mine who actually shoots with revolvers. He loves revolvers. So he uses speed loaders for revolver competitions and stuff like that. And he is actually really good and really fast with this stuff. But it's only because he practices a lot. So to lock it in place, so unlock, lock it, you twist it, and they don't fall down. So very effective tool. So usually police officers would carry 2 of those on their belt, plus the 6 rounds that they had loaded on their revolver. This one also came with that was the original case when I purchased this one. There is not a whole lot of information of who was the previous owner of this gun. However, the only thing that we did know is that it was a former police officer. And we think that probably the family had passed away, and they were looking around for stuff that he had, and they came about this gun, and then it was out in the market. So very reliable. It's all stainless steel, extremely solid, as you can see. This is what I was telling you about. The trigger, if I pull it here on double action, it is extremely heavy, right? But if I do it in single action, it is actually pretty smooth. Look how far back it goes, right? So basically, it's right there. You see how I barely pressed it. I barely squeezed the trigger, look at this. And it just went down, right? So that's a pretty smooth trigger. Now if I do double action, it takes forever, and I'm telling you, I'm actually squeezing it pretty hard. And it's just really hard for it to come down. But on single action, it's a very smooth firearm, okay? So if you're looking into buying a revolver to go to the range and have fun, something that you probably want to have for if you're going out hunting and you want to carry something that's reliable, that will function every time that you're out there hunting just for self-protection, this revolver would actually be good as your self-defense firearm in the case you go out hunting. Obviously you're with your rifle or shotgun, but as a self-defense you can carry this one, and it's a really nice, actually a really nice revolver. Even though it's stainless steel, I would still take it all apart if you're going to use it outside. Take it all apart and clean it, because rust will get to the steel. So you want to make sure that it's cleaned and well oiled before you store it. But overall, an excellent firearm. Highly recommend it. Obviously, you would have to find it on secondhand purchase. But if you can get one, I highly recommend it.